whole concept of net zero has so many flaws. It just delays the kind of action that is needed now. And it also allows a lot of false solutions and some future technologies which either could be dangerous or may not exist at all. The main challenge has been here in this COP is so many statements recognizing the need to act now, but they are not backed with the kind of decisions that we need to take inside the conference rooms that will enable that kind of urgent action. On finance, there is a major disappointment because even before the COP, the whole target of $100 billion a year that rich countries were supposed to fulfill, they have failed to do so, and they are still, in their own terms, falling short of $20 billion. But we all know even the $80 billion that they are claiming to provide is just full of loans and guarantees, and it's not public finance, which is so much needed to mobilize trillions, because climate action doesn't require billions but trillions of dollars every year if you want to make that transformation. We all know the climate crisis that we are facing is the result of industrialization that has happened over the last 150 years. And it's rich countries who industrialized first, who exploited these natural resources, and that's the prime reason we are facing climate crisis. Emissions in the newly industrialized nations like India and China are increasing only now. And since climate works on a lag system, the current crisis is because of the emissions of the past. That's why rich countries are responsible to take a lead in reducing their emissions, but also provide finance so that developing countries can reduce their emissions and adopt a more greener pathway and also adapt to climate impacts. What India did at the beginning of the conference was to come up with targets which are for 2030, which is extremely important, because if we follow what science says, we have to talk about near-term targets. We have to halve our emissions by 2030. So that way India has taken a bold step in announcing those targets. And there was a lot of pressure on India to also agree on a net zero target. So what India has done, because majority of rich countries have 2050 as a target to become net zero, and China 2060, so India has set 2070 as a target. But it's not net zero that is important. We have seen on the outside some grand announcements that we are going to mobilize $130 trillion for the kind of action that is required to make the transition to cleaner energy. But in reality, when we look at what's happening inside conference room, even that $100 billion has not been secured. So these grand announcements do not make any impact on ground unless there is a responsibility and accountability fixed for developed countries to provide that money to developing countries, and that we don't see happening. And for developing countries, it is so difficult to have so much of development deficit, who have to still build schools and hospitals and infrastructure. Pushing them unreasonably to adopt a greener pathway without providing any finance is absolutely unfair. We have reached a point where not only mitigation or preparing for the disasters, which we call adaptation, are important, but we have reached a point where we are already facing climate impacts. That's what we call loss and damage in these negotiations. And it is really important for us now to put emphasis on all three: mitigation, adaptation, and dealing with loss and damage. And these climate impacts that communities are suffering right now, they don't have any support from the international system, from this UN climate change system. And that's exactly what we are advocating for, that you have to create a financing stream that should help people on the ground. So there's a lot of talk about finance now, at least, but there is no discussion on how to make that money available, because people are losing their homes now, they're losing their incomes now. So the support has to be provided urgently to these communities. This COP should give a very strong indication that we are on track to stay below 1.5 degree. And that can only happen if we agree to near-term targets, if we agree to relook at our targets every year and not, in 5 years, because we just don't have time. If we are looking at 2030 as a target, every year we have to review where we are and how much ratchet up we have to do. Second, it's not going to happen unless money is put on the table. You cannot unreasonably just keep pushing developing countries without offering them support so that they can make that transition. And third, and probably the most important, you cannot leave poor people on their own who are facing climate impacts now.
We are truthful, unafraid and independent because of you. Now you can help our reporting from the ground. Go to thequint.com, click Become a Member tab, choose a plan and pay. Because the truth is worth it.